now let me give you a setup that you use, or that I love to use when I'm day trading. So when I'm day trading, I either love to look for the flags or I like to use the break and retest strategy. All right. So let me teach you what the break and retest strategy is. And before we talk about it, once again, we're going to talk about what basic principles do you need to understand to trade this strategy. You need to understand levels, you need to understand basic market structure like trend, and you need to understand candlesticks. Three things that are the basics that we talk about. You understand those three things, or you can trade the break and retest. Okay. Let's talk about an example that hasn't played out yet, but I'll teach you exactly how I plan to use it. So if we look at SPY, let me show you exactly what I would look for. We look at SPY right here. Notice that SPY is right near a key level, right? So pretty much at all-time highs. I probably could nitpick a little bit and make it a little bit closer. Might be a little off, but you get the gist. So let's say 610.84 is all-time high. Notice that we are super close to it here again, right here and right here. That's the level that we need to break to continue to the upside from the larger time frame perspective. Cool. Okay. So we know top-down analysis at this point right here is where we need to get above to continue to the upside on a larger time frame level. Now, when you're day trading, let me give you this trading nugget as well. I love to day trade things that are happening on a larger scale. All right. So I love to day trade a stock that's breaking out of a bull flag on the daily chart, right? Because if it's on a daily chart, you have a lot of data. That means that a larger move can happen. All right. And when you're day trading, you guys know it doesn't take a whole lot for you to start making or losing a bunch of money, especially when you start trading with, you know, I say when you get to 5+ contracts, you can scale pretty quickly. All right. So let me make sure that people aren't in the, yeah, there we go. All right, cool. So um you need a level here, right? You usually want to have a target, but since it's all-time highs, you don't really have a target. The easiest places to kind of put targets for all-time highs is whole numbers, right? So at this point, you would do 611, 612, 613, so on and so forth. Now let's talk about how do you actually use this. So we have our level. What do we actually want to see? And I'll adjust it a little bit more. The high is actually right at 611, right? Perfect. Cool. That's perfect. So the all-time high is actually right at 611. What are you looking for? You're looking for confirmation that the stock actually wants to go up. Okay. So what would that look like? You want to see the stock break the level, come back down, and go back up. In simple terms, you want to see the stock break out, come back down, and go back up. Now let's make this a little bit advanced. When we talk about the breakout, everybody knows what the breakout looks like. You know, those big green candles. Don't chase the up move, especially when you're day trading. Wait for the pullback to take it higher. Here's the thing. How do you know when it's time to take it higher? Understand that the stocks don't just go straight up or straight down. It's constantly testing levels. Okay. It's constantly testing things. And you got to think about like, okay, the buyers push it up here, but the sellers want to bring it back down to this key level and say, okay, buyers, do you guys really like it right here? Or can we send it back down and fake everybody out? So you have to understand what things tell you that this stock actually does like this level and buyers are in. You got to go back to your candlesticks, bullish hammers, bullish engulfings, those big green candles with volume. That's what we want to see on the retest. Okay. Those are the types of things that you want to see for you to enter the trade. All right. And I wish it was a live example that I can think of off my head here. But as far as a target and stop loss, etc., the break and retest is the absolute best strategy as far as day trading when it comes to understanding where's your stop loss, where's your target. Because a simple system that I use is if I'm using a break and retest, I want my first target to be high of day. I want my first target to be high of day. Then my levels after that is the levels that I have previously. Okay, so in this case, it would be 612, 613, etc. All right. Now, the stop loss, this is where you have to understand basic market structure. The stop loss would be that next um previous higher low. So let's say that this stock, let me let's redraw this so you can get a better visual of what a stock actually looks like. You guys know a stock might be it'll just move around, right? It'll move around, then it'll break out, pull back, and do something like this, right? You might have a huge move. It might even pull back down here before it goes back up. Okay. Now, let's say you get a bullish hammer right here, right at this level. And guys, it doesn't matter if it comes down a little bit below it. Actually is even better if it comes down a little bit below the level and then just has a blast back up, right? So don't be afraid if it does go down a little bit lower than your level. All right. So what you want to see is that move back up. So if you get that bullish hammer or big green candle, whatever, where is your stop? Your stop for me, there's two things you can do. Number one, you can put your stop under the candle, right? So it's a little bit tougher to do this if you're doing this on a 1 minute. I like to trade the break and retest on a 1 minute and the 5 minute. Most of the time I'm on the 1 minute because I take my trades mostly in the first hour of the day. But sometimes I do trade on a 5 minute. One thing you can do is have your stop loss under a candle, or you can have your stop loss at the previous higher low. All right. So here are your higher lows right here. Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. If you get in here, your stop is going to be this previous higher low. Okay. That's one way to do it, or you can do it underneath the candle, which is a little bit tougher to do if you have a 1 minute chart. Okay. And it also just depends on how far it is. So let's say like here to here, this is about 40 cents, right? So that's not a whole lot. But let's say that that previous higher low is all the way down here at like, I don't know, $9. Let's say that the stock just had a crazy push up. It might not be wise for you to try to risk all of this, especially when you start using things such as your risk calculator here. You always want your risk to be at least a two minimum. And if you was aiming for something like this, your risk reward is a 0.76, so that's not good. All right. Whereas let's say the candle was here. This was the candle that you're going to be using. Even here, it's not super great, 2.35, but a lot better than down here. All right. So always have to understand your risk to reward. That's when you can really tell if I want to use single candle, or do I want to use that previous higher low? So it's kind of you gotta just kind of see what the risk to reward is. Um, yeah, that's the break and retest. There's not a whole lot to it because after you get in, you just have to trust it. You just have to trust it. Understand that this is probability. Okay. It could it could push up a little bit and then come back down and stop you out. Right? It could just go straight to the target. It could, as soon as you get in, just absolutely get killed. It can do that. But everything in between your stop loss and your take profit is just noise. That's how you got to look at it. Everything in between your stop loss and your take profit is just noise. I've had break and retests that go straight to the target. That I've traded live with y'all. Y'all have seen I've had break and retests that go straight to the target, some that play around and go to the target, some that I get stopped out in the first minute or sometimes less than that. It's probability. All right. But I'm telling you, I'm giving you the highest probability setups that you can have. Okay. So use these. I promise you, use them, trust them, and study these. I have tons of videos, tons of live sessions, some that I lose on, some that I win on. Just study them. All right. You really cannot escape the screen time when you're trying to learn how to trade. You can't escape it. I promise you. No matter who your mentor is, none of that matters. You got to put in the screen time. All right. So the biggest thing that I help you with is I shorten your learning curve. I give you all the things. I take away all the roadblocks that you don't have to go through, that I had to go through to learn this stuff.